I'm clicking and clicking, and I'm not even clicking start. All your fault. Yeah, I couldn't understand why weren't we starting? I click start. You have to click on the yellow box that says start. Because if you don't click on the yellow box that says start, you don't start. So, we're going to start. From the WDWL TV multiplex, with great anticipation, we bring you the pride of the station. The grumpy old man, me, and the grumpy vulture. Would you like to take a bow? Don't screw it up. Take a bow. Well, so. I'll let you stay around for another week. Look at the camera. There you go. Get this out of the way. Hey, Kathy. Yeah. 91. 91. 9 away from the magic 100. We might even get there by September at the rate we're going. That's okay. One at a time. I'm not greedy. One at a time. So how you doing? How's the little one? She make it through school the last 2 days? Considering she wasn't supposed to go on Wednesday, then kind of paid the price for it on Wednesday. Did she make it all day on Thursday and today? Let me check something here. Okay. Had to check something. Boy, it was nice seeing new faces last night in the chat. I like when new people drop in. Yeah, I was looking at some of the forecasts for the Midwest. Man, they're talking about a shitload of tornadoes. She made it to 12:30. Well, hey, after the surgery she had, a little bit at a time. And if the school don't understand it, pardon my French. Fuck them. Hey, Linda, how are ya? I got a question. where can I download free music without having to join a club or join this or that, download 47 apps? There used to be a site where you could get all kinds of free music, and then they got shut down. Because I used to get a shitload of free music. Matter of fact, 99% of what's on this tablet, what was that? Oh, it was a goofy name. It was MP3 Juices. MP3 Juices. I used to get, a boatload of music from them. And then I guess the music producers didn't like them giving it away for free. Matter of fact, I still have it in my tablet and I can't even bring it up. It was like mp3juices.cc or something like that. You used to use MP3 Juices? Man, you could get any music. Like I say, I probably have well over 100 songs on that music list of my tablet, all from them. Now I need a couple of free songs, and I'll be goddamn if I can figure out where I can get free music today without having to join this or download 500 apps or... I figured it was over copyrights. You know, a lot of those sites back in the day, if they would have offered something, maybe the artist wouldn't have minded. But they just basically ripped everybody off. And then I ripped everybody off. Yeah, big deal. Yeah, well, all the ringtones I have on my phone, I get, what the hell is that app? I think it's Zedge. I think it's Zedge. Let's see. Yeah, Zedge. Zedge. All my ringtones, because I have ringtones for certain people. YouTube music is free. Well, yeah, they have a lot of free music, but I don't know if you can download a specific song. I need the chicken dance. Yeah. I need the chicken dance. That's what I need. I need to download the chicken dance. I could have swore I had it somewhere. I might have it on a flash drive or in an MP3 player. I guess I'm going to have to drag out all my MP3 players and pull the memory cards out and start looking. You know, It was unbelievable. I've got two MP3 players. I'll have to dig them out. They're about that big. They're little tiny things. I was shocked by the quality of the sound that came out of that. And they're Japanese knockoff pieces of crap, basically. I was amazed by the sound quality that come out of those little things. Matter of fact, I was so impressed I ordered a second one. I had two of them in case one went haywire. And they're just little itty bitty boxes. They clipped on your shirt or your collar. I was shocked by the quality of the music. And what I did to even improve it, I got headphones, earplugs. I call them headphones, okay? Earplugs. They had 3 speakers built into them. These little itty bitty things you stick in your ear. It even improved the sound quality even more. I'm walking around showing this to my friends. I'm like, here, stick this in your ear. And they were like, yeah, stick that in your ear. I said, no, listen to this. And they were like, out of this little dipsy doodle. I said, yeah. And all the music I ripped off from MP3 juices. Now I need the chicken dance, and I can't find a free music site. I'll have to check YouTube. What site does she get her music off of? Is it a free site she's downloading from? I'm cheap. I don't want to pay for nothing. Yep, ruined it when MP3 juices got shut down. Oh, Jesus. I know all the artists were bitching about copyright, but man, you could download anything. And a lot of times they would have 3, 4, 5, 6 different versions of the same song. Yeah, see if you can find out where she gets her music from. And if it's a free download place. I know at one time, I know with Apple, you would get a lot of free music. But I don't have a Apple product. I have Android, which I'm happy with. My friend sent my cat a birthday present. And it was hilarious because my letter carrier, she rings the bell. I answer the door. I said, yes. She goes, do you have someone by the name of Boots here? I said, yeah, hold on. And I pulled out my phone and I showed her my 22-pound fatso laying on his back with his feet in the air. I said, this is him. She goes, oh, I got a birthday card for him. I said, okay. Yeah. She was like looking at that envelope. I said, yeah, here's the fatso. Then today, I'm going through my. I I get AOL News. I'm reading the news stories, and here's this video of this guy with two big fatzos like mine. One was a tuxedo, one was all white. Both cats laying on their back, feet in the air, in the middle of his bed. But the neat thing about the white one was a polydactyl. Oh, I want one of them so bad. I think they have the coolest looking feet. Cats that look like they have boxing gloves. I want a, but they're rare. You know, it's not like a Siamese or a tortoiseshell or a Burmese. You can have two polydactyls, and there's no guarantee the kittens are going to be polydactyls. And out of a litter of 6, maybe only one will be a polydactyl. But I want a polydactyl. I think they are so neat. A friend of mine had one. Looked like it had boxing gloves for front paws because it had 2 extra toes on each foot. They are the coolest looking. I almost had one. Almost. Select MP3. Where do I enter that? In YouTube, select MP3, or what? Or is that a download site? Yeah, 2 years ago, the place where I get my rescues from had one. Matter of fact, it was a tuxedo polydactyl, which made it even better. And she says, we've been waiting a week for these people to make up their mind. Tomorrow morning, if they don't give us an answer, it's yours. Assholes called in first thing in the morning. Oh, we made up our mind. We'll take the cat. Yeah, as a matter of fact, my kid put me onto that Zedge. So I have certain ringtones for everybody. Matter of fact, the one that I have for my kid says, your son is calling, he probably wants money. Your son is calling, he probably wants money. Then I know to hang up. People look at you like, what? My main ringtone that for people, all my friends have assigned ringtones. If just somebody out of the blue calls, my main ringtone is the theme from the Lone Ranger. When that thing goes off, it gets attention. Okay. Paste YouTube link. Select MP3 and hit convert. What do I paste the YouTube link into? You're talking to somebody that is not super tech savvy. Oh, I'll tell you what. I anytime I see a black cat, I try to find out where its home is, and then I tell the people, hey, don't you dare let that cat out on Halloween. You might not never get it back. Oh, that's got to be damn both of you. I'd like to call just to hear them phones ring. Quack like a duck. Oh, I'll tell you, Sarah, every cat that I have ever owned has been a rescue. Every single one, because I believe in they deserve a second chance. And the fatso I got now, he was so rotten when I got him, I tried to give him back 3 times. Holy shit, was he a pain in the ass. Of course, he got abused to the point he almost got killed, but I'll figure it out, Kathy. I'll figure it out. You gave me the rough idea. I knew somebody would come up with an answer for me for free music. I tried searching today and everything was like download this and download that. No, I'm not downloading a bunch of shit. Oh, if I'd have been standing next to you, Linda, I'd have given you a look like, yeah. But it's interesting to hear different ringtones people have on their phones. It really is. Although, I would like to kill most of these people that have iPhones and never change the ring. Because every iPhone from the factory is set up with the original ring from the first iPhone. And I can tell an iPhone from across the store when it rings. I'm like, gee, couldn't you change that ringtone? And that's like people that don't know how to change the name on their phone. Like in Zoom Court, it'll say, Motorola Moto G. It's so easy to change your name in the phone. My second phone says Grumpy's phone. That still work? mp3.cc? If that still works, I'm going to try it. It's just mp3. You don't put the juices in, right? mp3.cc. It's good seeing you, Sarah. How you been? I haven't seen you in eons. A blast from the past. God, it's got to be, what, 20 years? Yeah, 20, 21 years. Oh, that would sound neat in the morning. I would like that. Well, I don't have a digital alarm clock, but that would be cool. Have a rooster crowing to wake you up. No, I'm back in Cleveland. I've been out of Lakewood for shit. I was only in Lakewood for like 4 years. Then after I left the hospital, I moved back to Cleveland. I'm on the west side. I'm over by the 1st District Police Station. Matter of fact, I'm 2 blocks from my child home I grew up in. Whole Hillcrest. Oi, 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 oi. I don't. It was nice of him to offer you a job, but Hillcrest. Hey, Wyatt, how are you, buddy? Good seeing you. How you doing? Well, I would have too. God, who the hell wants to drive all the way over the other side of town? Jesus Christ. Really? Why would people block you, Linda? Come on. You're only seeing Kathy, huh? You didn't see Wyatt pop in? You don't see my old friend Sarah from the hospital? Well, you know, Wyatt, it ain't getting any easier. Not since it's hard to believe that 25 micrograms makes such a difference in medication, but holy shit. All right, drive safe. Sarah's on face plant. I don't know if. Well, I would think whoever's in the chat could see each other. You don't see Wyatt either. Oh, Wyatt's on YouTube. Jesus, what's going on tonight? Nobody can see nobody. Yeah, Wyatt's on his way home from grocery shopping. He's stocked up for the week. Oh, and then I got a real surprise when I made my My beef smoked sausage last night. I didn't see the little thing that said hot. Oh, was I happy? Oh, is that oh my God, I didn't notice until I went to put the package away. I was like, oh, well, the hot is so tiny, you know. Nobody can see nobody. And I didn't make any changes. I'm not touching anything. The only thing I changed was I straightened the license plate. It was cattywampus yesterday. That's the only thing I messed with. You seeing everybody now, Kathy? That's strange. I know one. I really have to look into a different streaming software. The major problem is I can't operate half that shit. It's so goddamn confusing. It amazes me how people say, "Oh, you know, I downloaded Streamlab and I was up and running in 10 minutes." Well, you're a lot better person than I am. I can't figure that shit out. Like I tell everybody, and it's true. In my search bar in Gargle, I typed in streaming software for dummies. And Prism was the first one to pop up. I downloaded it and here I am. But I don't know how to put up a video. I don't know how to put chat on the screen like people do. I'm lucky I'm up and running this way. See, I need someone to be sitting next to me that basically knows how to operate like EVMux or StreamYard or Restream and run me through it like twice. And then I could figure it out. But for me just to download it, it's like downloading Chinese. I'm the first one to admit I'm a dumbass when it comes to that shit. Same thing, you know, people will take a video and cut it down and edit it and do this, do it. Not me. Although a couple of my friends tell me just leave well enough alone. But it would be nice if I could put a video up and say, hey, you know, I watched this today. Oh well. I should thank my lucky stars I got this far. Although, when I was just operating off of YouTube, You know, Linda, it amazes me how these people can just download this stuff and they're up and running. You know, like the other day, one of the content creators I follow said, "Oh, I went from Streamlab or StreamYard to Restream." They said, "No, I just downloaded it and here I am." Okay. I don't understand it. I don't. Too technologically advanced for me. Some people, they can just gee, he's been playing with StreamYard for a while. And see, he's what I would call really, technologically advanced. Better than me. So if he's still learning it, that just goes to show you it's way above my head. All right, Wyatt. Be safe. Watch those groceries. We don't want nobody to hijack your bag of bananas. Have a good evening, buddy. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. That's another thing I could not do. I could not ride public transportation. Oh, God. I realized that, sooner or later, I might end up having to do it. But I just, it took me a good 3 months to figure out email. Although, when I call into AOL, they are amazed when they look at when I signed up. Because the other day I had to call, I had a glitch in my email, and she looked and she went, "Can I ask you something?" I said, "Well, yeah." She says, when you started AOL, did you download it off a disc? I said, "Yeah, those were the days when they had piles of them everywhere you went. Get a free disc and start AOL." That's how long I've been with AOL. I was in the grocery store. They were on an end cap. I grabbed the disc. It said free. I took it home. I popped it in my computer. And I've been with AOL ever since. She looked at it and she went, "Boy, you've been around forever." I said, "Yep." And the interesting thing was, back in the day, if you did beta testing for AOL, they would give you all kinds of free shit. I remember And people don't believe this. At one time, Walmart was going to have its own email. Like, yahoo.com. Well, it was walmart.com. And it was going to be free. And I beta tested that for about 6 months. Because I had an email address that was walmart.com. And then Walmart shit canned the whole thing. But I did. Matter of fact, I told the girl, I said, yeah, back in the day, we would do a lot of beta testing. Walmart.com, and then, what the hell was the other one? Oh, Kmart. Kmart and Walmart were going to have their own email services. I had Walmart.com for an email address. I had Kmart.com. And of course, then old Kmart bit the bullet. And Walmart, they shit canned the whole thing. Beta testing for 6 months with that email. And then they shit canned it. I couldn't believe it when they shit canned it. Do all that beta testing. And then we're not going to do it. Now, I'm sure they paid AOL big bucks to run all that beta testing, but one day I got an email that said, as of, like the 15th of the month, we are disbanding the Walmart.com beta testing, and there will no longer be a Walmart.com email. But you got to remember, that was back. Shit, that was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Oh, don't feel bad, Linda. It took me forever how to learn how to send a goddamn picture in email. Now I do it, it's old hat now, but in the beginning it was like, how the hell did I do that? If I didn't write shit down in detail, click this, click that, Then a couple of times I sent the wrong picture. Whoops. They weren't dirty. Don't. Yeah, I remember a friend of mine, he said, I thought you were going to send me a picture of that antique car you saw up at, the shopping center. I said, I'd send it to you. He says, no, you emailed me a picture of your backyard. I was like, oh, okay. That's the joke today. If you want to learn something about a computer, ask a 5-year-old. It is amazing how these young kids just. But like I was saying, my buddy's granddaughter, her school supply list was a tablet. You know, a couple of pens, some pencils, and a tablet. But that's how they do their work. It's just amazing. You know, I would love for somebody to build me a gaming computer. My buddy's grandson built his, and it's got like 6 or 7 fans in it, and they're all multicolored, and all kinds of LED lights. And then the neat thing is, his processor is cooled with a radiator. On the top of his computer is a little tiny radiator with a blower fan and a circulating pump, and it's mounted on top of his processor, and it cools like a car. Because I said, what the hell's that? He goes, oh, it's a cooling radiator. And it takes special fluid like antifreeze. But the whole side of it is clear on the one side. And it's just a myriad of computer parts and fans and LED lights. And oh, speaking of, I got my plastic sheeting. I'm going to have, let me do it this way. I'm going to have green filters. Look at that green. I'm going to have green filters instead of the dummy ones that I've got. I got my green plastic sheeting. All I have to do is cut it now. It's see-through. See-through green plastic. Yeah, now all I have to do is get my little bandsaw out and cut it to the size that I need. Green Lexan plastic. Had to order a couple of sheets because I have to fix a couple of the pieces of plastic in my emergency lights. Yeah, you can't get this shit local. You have to. Matter of fact, I had to get it from a guy in Florida. Nobody in Cleveland had clear Lexan green plastic. And I remember back in the, well, I probably could have gone to, what the hell's the name of that goddamn craft store? Michael's. Because Pat Catangi used to be able to buy big sheets of green, red, yellow, whatever transparent plastic you wanted. But see, Linda, they know how to do that shit. You know, my buddy's grandson, 12 years old. He ordered a motherboard, he ordered this, he ordered that, and assembled all this shit. I was amazed. He ordered the box, and then all the guts, and build it himself. I would know the first thing. I think he's got two hard drives. I think they're 4 terabyte. So he's got 8 terabytes worth of hard drives in his computer. And then he has an auxiliary unit next to the computer that's got 4 hard drives in it. And he's got games on every. He switches between hard drives, and I'm lucky I know how to plug in a USB cable. Although, it's like back in the 70s, when I bought my component stereo, I could wire that shit up blindfolded. I made the mistake of taking all of mine apart. I can't remember how the hell to wire it all up. I got my component stereo system sitting. I can't find anything online to tell me how to wire a 1970s component stereo system. All right, Linda. You know where we'll be. I don't know how many times I've searched on good old Google and how to wire a 1970s component stereo system, and I can't get diagrams. I've got all this shit sitting. I can't play my stereo. Although, dumbass me, I should have taken pictures of the back of that thing before I pulled all the wires out. I was like, oh, no problem. Unplugged everything. Now I can't figure out what to plug in where. We've got a stereo shop in Lakewood, and they sell antique equipment. So I says to him one day, I said, I need a wiring diagram to wire my component system up. And I said, I got the tuner, I got the turntable, I got the equalizer, I got the cassette player, I got the reverberator, I got the CD player. He said, oh, no problem, $50. I said, for a wiring diagram? He said, well, if you want to wire that thing bad enough, $50. I said, see ya. But before I took it apart, I should have taken pictures. Of course, hindsight's always 20/20, but I should have taken pictures. And then I wouldn't have had the problem I've got now. I got a box full of wires and cables and all my components in the cabinet, and I can't figure out how to wire it. I want to hear that thing again. Everything in that cabinet still works like the day I bought it back in 1971. Not to mention my big fucking Radio Shack Mach 1 speakers. I want to hear them again. I want to shake the windows, vibrate the house. I guess I'm going to have to give in and pay $50. You would think with all the shit you can find online, you could find a wiring diagram for a 1970s component stereo system. Yeah, Kathy, but if I want to hear this stereo and play everything, I'm going to have to give in. I took everything apart, cleaned, got electrical contact cleaner, I sprayed, I cleaned every contact on every component. All new cables, and I can't figure out how to hook it all up. But back in 1970, I could wire that thing in my sleep. Dumbass me. I've got all these goddamn cameras. I got a camera in my phone. You think I had to take a picture of everything? No. But I'll tell you what. If I get the wiring diagram and get that thing hooked up, you will hear my stereo if you walk out in your backyard and just turn your ear towards Cleveland. Oh, I'll tell you what. I crank that thing up. It sounds concert pitch. It is, it's an amazing system. Well, at least she was at the front door. She was like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. It's good that she was at the front door. You can't really punish them when they do that, even though they piss you off when they get out. At least she came back. Let me in. Patiently waiting. Let me in, let me in, let me in. Hey, look who's here. How you doing, Jenny? Good to see ya. How are you doing? Nice to see her in here again. Yes, it is. The original chatter's here. Even though we did have Sarah for a while. Sarah's another one of my friends from the hospital. It was good to see her. I haven't seen her since '04. Really makes me feel old. Jeez. That was the last time I saw her. And she hung around until they shut the doors on the hospital, and then they shipped her across town for a job. No wonder she retired early. I wouldn't have gone. Well, Linda, evidently she got scared. And she was like, whoa, I want back in. Sometime it's just that fear. When they get out and they realize that they're out and they shouldn't be, a lot of times they won't be sneaking out anymore. Because they remember that, oops. Let's keep our fingers crossed that that's the way she feels. Like, oops, I can't be doing that shit no more. But at least you didn't have to go looking for her. That's wonderful. What'd she do? Get out the back and come around to the front? Now she knows both ends of the house. How long was she out? Just a little bit? Just enough to get scared. Realize, oops, I shouldn't be out here. Mom isn't out here. I'm in trouble. Yeah, at least she was waiting. She knew she did bad. Now she should get a treat for not running away. Although you give her a treat, she's like, okay, if I escape again and run around to the front door, I'll get a treat again. Yeah, I'd give her a reward. A little treat. Although that rotten jerk of mine, now it's to the point. Anytime I go in the bedroom, he thinks it's treat time. You know, when he was a kitten, I would give him treats to distract him so that I could run out the bedroom door and shut the door. Well, now he thinks every time I go in the bedroom, it's treat time. Like before, he was sound asleep in the living room. I went in to make the bed again because he messed it all up. And I was trying to be real quiet. And I turned around and he jumped up on the bed. It's like treats. And then if I don't give him one, he grabs the belt loop in my pants and he won't let it, he won't let go. Oh, the old push the screen out, huh? Did she push the screen out or did she pull the bead out of the screening? Hey, Timmy, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, like that jerk of mine. For the longest time, he'd pull the beading out of the screen. And then he'd get out. Until I super glued the bead in. And then it was like, gee, I can't pull this out now. But that was the only way I could fix it. I had to super glue the bead. Oh, I'll tell you what. If I don't give him a treat, he gets nasty. He scratched the shit out of me this morning. I didn't give him a treat fast enough. He reached up, he grabbed my arm. And then with me taking them goddamn baby aspirin every day, you bleed like a stuck pig. Christ, I went through about a dozen goddamn Band-Aids before it'd stop. Let me make an adjustment here. Gotta put the fan on high. Well, gee, Linda, you expect them to obey the law? They didn't obey the law sneaking across the border. You want them to put their animals on a leash? Oh, come on. Gee, Linda, you're living in fantasy land. I'll tell you one thing. They better not move down to Polk County in Florida. Oh, Grady Judd, they arrested like 300 and some illegals. And one of them, it's the third time they deported him. He admitted it. They said, well, we're going to deport you. He said, hey, you deported me 3 times already. Here I am again. Oh, they're smart, Linda. They're smart. They'll figure a way. Yeah, that cardboard gives away. It ain't like plexiglass. Yeah, the guy had the nerve to tell Grady's detectives, they're like, well, ICE is going to put a detainer on you and they're going to deport you. And he went, they deported me 3 times already. Matter of fact, Grady said they deported the guy and he was back here in a week and a half. I can guarantee the 4th deportation is going to take him a little longer to get back here. Well, you know what? My doctor told me. He said, you're on the verge of high blood pressure. He says, I would rather not put you on blood pressure medication if you take a baby aspirin every morning. I was like, okay, I don't want to be on no other medication. But the drawback is, if you get a cut or anything, you bleed forever. God, I'll be working on the car and I'll just nick my knuckle and I'll go through a dozen Band-Aids. Oh, really? Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. I didn't know that, Linda. I didn't know sheriff's departments would do stuff like that. Wow. Cool. Yeah, I'll tell you. I like old Grady Judd. He don't mince no words. He don't take no shit. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ah, damn. 15. Wow. Does it run in the family? Or did you just end up the unlucky one? Because see, high blood pressure and heart trouble runs in my family. My great-grandfather, my grandfather, and my father all died from heart attacks. So far, I'm the oldest one in the family. I've made it farther than all of them. Now watch, I just jinxed myself. I have to take my blood pressure every single morning. I have my chart every morning. I sit down with my little machine. There, my neat little machine. I just pop it on. And push the button every morning. First thing. It's like my new primary care. Of course, he didn't know my sense of humor. So he says to me, he says, I want you to take your blood pressure every morning. I said, okay. He says, as soon as you wake up, empty your bladder and take your blood pressure. And I looked at him as serious as hell and says, can I get out of bed first, Doc? He just looked at me like, you asshole. As soon as you wake up, empty your bladder. Oh, gee, I fucked up another new mattress. He didn't think that was funny. I did. So I wake up, I hit the bathroom, come in here, sit down, take my blood pressure. Then I go make my coffee. Yeah, he printed out enough pages. Oh, gee. But every single morning, religiously, I come out and pop the old machine on. I thought it was funny, Timmy. He just looked at me like, you asshole, you know. But he said it just that way. As soon as you wake up, empty your bladder, take your blood pressure. And I just looked at him as serious as could be and said, can I get out of bed first? Okay, Doc, joke. Oh, that sucks, Linda, to have it hereditary like that. Man, that of all shit to run in the family, Jesus. Yeah, Kathy, he just looked at me like, you asshole. You know, he just kind of stared at me. His nurse thought it was funny. She left the office. She went out by the front desk, and I could hear her laughing. And then she was telling the other nurses. I got a doctor with no sense of humor. When I told my primary care doctor that, he laughed his ass off. He thought it was hilarious. But I guess I have to break my primary care doctor in. Oh, it's like my oncologist, a little Chinese guy. You know, normal doctor will come in and have their chart and, how you doing? You know, good to see you. He walks in, he goes, you're still smoking. How do you know, Doc? I left the cigarettes in the truck. Oh, little cookout, huh, Timmy? Are you cooking for one? Or do you have the little lady over tonight? One of these days I've got to meet her. I met the first one. We won't go there. Has she still got the diesel? When that car gets old enough, I want it. I want that diesel. Too bad it's an automatic, though. That ruins it. But I'll put up with an automatic to have a diesel. Because when it gets to be 25 years old, the first thing I'm going to do is crawl underneath it with a sawzall and cut the converter off it. Oh, gee, a vegetable-tarian? Timmy, how did you end up with a vegetarian? Come on. Your family are big meat eaters. Eat the side off a cow without even cooking it. Yeah. I want that diesel. Because as soon as it hits the 25-year-old mark, off comes a catalytic converter and a straight pipe. I do that with all of mine. They don't have to have the stinking E-check anymore, so off they come. That's the nice thing about owning old vehicles. That's why I want it. What year is that? I remember you told me several times, but I keep forgetting. Oh, when I had that Toyota diesel pickup, oh, the mileage was fantastic on that thing. If I get on the freeway and set the cruise control, I was getting like 60 miles to the gallon with that thing. Then the goddamn frame broke. Pissed me off. I love that little diesel. Matter of fact, it was one of the last goddamn diesels that Toyota put in a pickup. A 14. It's going to take a while before it hits that 25-year-old. Jesus Christ. 2039. I don't know if I'll be around then. Yeah. 2039 before I could whack the converter off of it. Matter of fact, I'm looking for a 2010, which I shouldn't because it would still have to E-check. A 2010 or older F-150 or F-250. Because 2010 was the last year they put a manual transmission in an F-Series pickup. So I would have to get a 2000. I'd have to get a 2000 F-Series pickup with a manual, because the goddamn dumbasses don't know how to use their left foot nowadays. It's sad. You see fewer and fewer manufacturers building a manual anymore. Although, over in Europe, you rarely see an automatic. Even the police department's got, most of their vehicles are manuals. Nah, I couldn't buy that Timmy until it was a 2039. Yeah, but see, anything that's over 25 years old, it don't have to have an e-check. That's why I'm hanging on to my 97s. I put up with enough bullshit with a goddamn e-check. Christ, the shitbox failed 7 times. I just drove it with an expired 30-day tag for 6 months. And then when it was legally 25 years old, I walked into the license bureau and said, "Give me my plates." And the girl said to me, "Where's your green form?" I said, "Sweetheart, look at the title. It says 97. "Oh, okay. Here you go." Yeah, I had what the hell year was that? 94 Toyota with a 4-cylinder diesel in it. And the mileage was outstanding on that thing. Like I say, if I would go somewhere, like drive down to Columbus, hit the cruise control, I was getting 55, 60 miles to the gallon with that thing. What did I say? 94? Duh. Yeah, 84. I love that little red. Oh, the guys at the body shop, they repainted it for me. Yep. It was kind of beat up when I got it. And the guys in the body shop, they said, "We're going to take care of this thing." They repainted the whole truck. And then one of my body guys had the sun visor with the marker lights he gave me. And then Mueller gave me a real deal on the wagon wheels. Oh, that truck was laid out. I loved it. And then the frame broke. And it would have cost more than what the damn truck was worth to get a frame section put in it. So I just sold it as is. Well, if you find a picture of it, I want to make a copy of it. even if it's just a copy on my printer. I miss that truck. That truck originally came from Colorado. The guy moved here from Colorado and he traded it in at Barry Buick. And it was on the back of the used car lot because it was all beat up, dinged up, and paint faded. And the guys in the body shop redid that whole truck. As a matter of fact, Mueller gave me a deal on the wheels and tires, and then K&K Auto Trim did the interior for me. That truck was like brand new. And the neat thing was, I didn't even plug that thing in the winter. And it started every single time. Because it had a block heater. I never even plugged it in. And it had like, 300,000 miles on it. Had 300,000 miles on it, and the engine had never been apart. That's how, although Toyota engines run forever. Yeah, except for the frame. Had a wonderful motor in it. The frame was like Swiss cheese. Yeah, I was driving along. I get on I-90 at 44th, 41st. I come down the ramp and I went to pull in the center lane, and all of a sudden it went cockeyed, and I was like, well, what the hell's going on? Oh, that tell you, that was another. I'll tell you the story about that van. It got traded in, and the used car mechanic checked it out, and he went, "Oh, it's got a cracked block." So I knew the used car manager up there. I said, "Hey, I want that van." He goes, "It's got a bad engine." I said, "Don't worry about it." I paid like $200 for it. It had a blown head gasket. In 2 days, I had that thing fixed and back on the road, and I drove it up to Toyota for an oil change, and they were like, how are you driving it? And I said, it didn't have a crack block, it had a blown head gasket. I took my brother-in-law pulled the head off. I took it up to Plain Brothers. They resurfaced the head. And in 2 days, we had it back together and on the road. I should have never got rid of that thing. I loved it, especially the way you sat. The engine was next to you. You sat over the front wheels. That goddamn truck would turn on a dime and give you 9 cents change. See, Linda and Kathy, Timmy lived right next door to me. He knows all the vehicles I had. Growing up as a kid, he saw every goddamn car I had. Car and truck. Not to mention my pimp mobile Eldorado. The only thing I didn't have with the Eldorado was the raccoon coat and a feathered hat. Right, I slept in that. I slept in it. It was comfy. All I did was move the one seat out of the way stretched right out. God, Willow Lake. Yeah, man. We had some fun times out there. Oh, I got that Lincoln out of Maryland. My buddy had a used car lot in Maryland. Yeah, Kathy, you should have seen that 73 Lincoln. Powder blue with a dark blue vinyl top. I had some cars, man, back in the day. But you should have seen my 85 Eldorado. It was pearl white. The only thing I didn't like about it had a saddle tan interior. I had Firestone wide white walls, and it had a Continental wheel on the back. I looked like a pimp in that car. Matter of fact, when I ordered the white walls, the guy said, "You want them that wide?" Yes. God, them white walls were like 4 inches. A real pimp mobile. Those were the days. Now look what I'm driving. A 97 Nissan pickup that every time I slam the door, another piece of the body falls off of it. And a 97 RAV4 that don't run right now. I gotta get my ass working on that car before I take on another project. I'm anticipating another vehicle. Hopefully I can work a deal on it. An 01 VW Passat, which is basically an Audi A4 with different sheet metal. Because it says right in the manual. If you get a Chilton's manual, it says Passat Audi A4. The only thing different is the sheet metal. Otherwise, it's an Audi underneath. I want that car. Yeah, my 73 was powder blue with a dark blue vinyl top and dark blue leather interior. I love that car. Then one day I was driving home and the goddamn drive shaft fell out of it and bent. I sold that one cheap. I told the guy, he says, "Hey, bring a tow truck." That drive shaft's bent, all the shit. Oh, don't even bring that car up, Timmy. Oh, my God. That was the only car I hated. That goddamn Newport. I hated that car. Yeah, same color. Same. Two-tone, dark vinyl top. That car was a pain in the ass. Goddamn thing leaked oil like a old dump truck. That was a mistake buying that car. That was a mistake buying that Chrysler Newport. My buddy talked me into it. 72 Aldo. That was the one with the red leather interior. That was a 72. I loved my Eldorados. That's when I had money too. I could afford to swap cars every now and then. Not now. Although, if I can lay my hands on that Passat, it's actually a decent looking car. I don't know what it's like mechanically. I hear it's got a lot of bugs. But if it's minor bugs, I'll just wait until January before I put license plates on it. Because then it'll be 25 years old. Hey, look who's here, another hospital person. How you doing, Miguel? See, all the Lakewood Hospital people are showing up. Well, I appreciate it, Miguel. You know, I run this like we're sitting around the kitchen table with a cup of coffee having a chat. I'm hanging in there. I battled some nasty cancer for a while, but luckily I'm in remission. Really? I didn't know that. I held Timmy when he was 7 days old. That's how long I know Timmy. I live right next door to him. Matter of fact, his mother and I were playmates growing up. That's how long I know that. Wow, talk about small world, huh? Gee, Timmy, all we need is Duck to show up one of these days. I know he listens. Duck has been a subscriber. Matter of fact, Duck was number 30. He was number 30 subscriber. Every now and then when I drive past his house, I yell at, "Hey, 30!" Or blow the siren at him. Really, Miguel? Wow. I've been in this neighborhood all my life. I'm down by the police station. I live up the street from the police station. Unbelievable. I didn't know you guys went to school together. Wow. Like old home week here. It's good seeing you. Well, that's like, Miguel, the funny thing, Kathy used to live in Bedford. And we found out her and I went to the same meat market and the same bakery. I said there could have been a time where her and I could have been standing side by side and not known it. So you really talk about small world, Yeah, they don't even call it Ascension anymore. Matter of fact, they rent the school out to some academy. There's not even a Catholic school up there anymore. They changed the name to Blessed Trinity or something like that. I'm like, Jesus. Oh, this is our nightly thing, Miguel. Everybody just, whatever comes to mind, we just chat about it. Like you say, it's like we're sitting around the kitchen table with a cup of coffee. I can imagine. I hear they got a food bank up there. I got to figure out how I could get me some free food. Something called Bountiful Basket. I was reading about it the other day. I got to go up there and see what I need to get on the list to get me some free groceries. Boy, that's unreal. So Miguel and Timmy went to school together. Unbelievable. Well, it's good seeing you. The other day we were talking about the hospital, man. How much fun we used to have working there. Well, Timmy, I've seen cars lined up in there, and I wondered what the hell it was. And then I saw a flyer. So I got the phone number. I got to call and find out what I need to qualify. Shit. The pittance I get for Social Security, I should be able to get a truckload of food. Now, I don't think they give out beer up there, Timmy. Would be nice. Here's your groceries, and oh, by the way, here's a 6-pack of Heineken. Thank you. Oh, not allowed to touch that stuff anymore. All right, Miguel. Pop in any time. Good seeing you. A blast from the past. Are you a subscriber, Miguel? I could use a few more. I'm trying to hit 100. I no sooner get close and then people unsubscribe, and then I get close again and people unsubscribe. We'll have a party if I hit 100. We're getting there, though, one at a time. Where'd everybody disappear to? Where's Kathy? Where's Linda? I think Jenny popped back out. Oh, there she is. All right, yeah. Keep that beast in the house. Take care of it, Linda. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, it's getting to be that time anyway. We're hitting the 2 hour mark here shortly. Two hours every night, 7 to 9. Man, that made my day. You too, Linda. Be careful fixing that window. Keep that monster in the house. I'm glad I finally broke mine of that habit. Jeez. Although the last time he got out, he got a good scare, so that broke him of the habit of pushing his way through the screen. Now I can actually trust him. Well, almost. That big fat ass got out, I'd be going crazy. Where's my clicker? I think the echo just kicked in. Yeah, the old echo just kicked in. Damn it. Well, at least it's letting me go almost 2 hours now before it echoes. I don't know why it does that. Some people can be on 4, 5, 6 hours, never a problem. Me, 2 hours and my microphone goes into automatic echo. Whether I want it to or not. Damn thing. Gee, I wish the other Lakewood Hospital people would have been here when Miguel popped in. That was cool, though. A blast from the past. Another Lakewood Hospital employee. Yeah, as soon as the weather gets a little better, Kathy, I'm gonna take a trip out to Kaiser's. I made up my mind. I got to go out there and get some good food. I hope they still make the peppered bacon. Oh God, I love that stuff. The only problem is I'll need a pocket full of money to go out there because I won't get out of that place for less than $60. I guarantee it. It's almost as bad as when I used to go to the goddamn Italian store, Gallucci's. I never got out of there under $50. And that was back in like the early 90s. I can imagine what it'd be now. 75, $80. Christ, yesterday, I go up to the store. I get like 6 items, maybe 7. $53. One bag. One bag. I says to the kid behind the service desk, I said, you know, the older I get, the stronger I get. He looked at me and went, really? I said, oh yeah. Because I said back in 1970, I couldn't carry $50 worth of groceries in one hand. He just looked at me like, what? Yeah. $50 back in the 70s bought you a cart full. $53, one bag. One frickin' bag. Well, actually, two. My ginger ale was in the other bag. He said $53. I was like, what? I had cat food. All right, I had delectables. I had a bag of dry food, Friskies. I had my smoked sausage, a package of buns, a thing of mustard, and I can't remember. Ginger ale. $53. Disgusting. Utterly disgusting. Prices nowadays. Okay. I lost the stylus again. It's getting to be that time. Getting to be that time. Outro time. We're going to play the other version tonight. I forgot I had the other version. This was actually recorded during WDWL when she was singing it live in front of the troops. I forgot I had this version. That's all the troops singing in the background with her. I forgot I had the original version, because the one I usually play is the remastered one. And with that, we will meet again tomorrow night. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. See ya. My clicker ain't working now. Take two.